All right. Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling.
All right, man. Hey, Jake, do you want to describe why you look so cool right now?
I look very cool because we've been talking about this for a while, but I'm actually going to be donating my hair to a charity.
Yeah, man, you look cool as F.
Yeah, and if
right
you're
now.
not on our YouTube page, you can go there and you can check out this awfulness. I am dolled up, ready to go. We got Marissa here, ready to get rid of my lovely locks.
Luscious locks, yeah. And Jake is actually, what do you donate it to? Merkins for Men?
Merkins for Men, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We want to keep all the ticks, all the lice. I've been collecting them for a long time.
That's really fun, listeners, if you know what a Merkin is. If you don't, there's your stop and Google moment. This is episode 137.
Yeah, 137.
And, I'm really excited for all of you to tune in for episode 137A, where we have Return of Renee.
Yeah, she came back.
Hey, so we got Renee back, and we did a historical episode already. So in case you're wondering why Jake has his luscious locks still, is because Renee did not want to get drunk with the boys.
Yeah, you can go see what I lost.
So yeah. Anyway, so tune in, I guess, next week?
Next week,
episode 137A on Belle Boyd.
Yeah, and I will say, like, weirdly enough, I was joking, but I haven't had a haircut since we started this podcast. Like,
really?
This was like since lockdown.
Should we just end the podcast after this?
I'm thinking so. I'm like, we'll end it maybe 138.
Yeah.
For the whole Misfits thing. That'll be fun.
We are 138. So anyway, my name is Adam. I keep it high and tight, Riley.
And my name is Jake. About to be high and tight.
Yeah, there we go. I like how Jake actually goes, did you get the picture I sent you?
Yeah.
She's like, of John Hamm?
Yeah.
And I go, you want to look like John Hamm? Look so stupid. And he's like, whatever, man. If I come out look like John Hamm, you're going to ask her to do the same. I'm like, you're right.
Yeah. I love her. Like, yeah, you want to look like John Hamm? Who doesn't want to look like John fucking Hamm? Except, actually, weird side story. In the 90s, he got accused of a fraternity incident.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? I think I sent that around. John Hamm, you can look this up. I think it was like 1990. Fraternity brother couldn't recite the pledge or something, and he actually hit him with a paddle so hard he broke his spine.
Ooh.
Gave him nerve damage.
Spinal.
He was a real mad man. That
broke. Oh, yeah. Because the TV show, the John Hamm.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen a single episode.
Okay.
All right. So, are we just going to do it?
Yeah, I think we're going to kind of do it. And
you know what we should do is just every segment, we'll just cut another lock off. You have 5 ponytails right now.
I know. I look stupid. But this is going to help 5 lonely men who can't grow pubic hair. It's a good deed. What have you done for men lately? Actually, for what it's worth, this is primo hair, undyed. No product touches it. Unchecked growth. Pure, 100% primo is what they want.
Yeah, like some dude wants a bunch of white strands.
They might get that. It's called peppered. Lightly charcoal.
All right. So, actually, I got a little fun fact for you.
Sure.
If you want to, I don't know. Do you think the Clippers are going to be distracting?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, So actually, how about we cut one off? Go ahead, put the cape on it.
I'm going to take these. I'm going to take these off. I can see me.
All right.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, look at him. He looks
one of those
so
guys
pretty.
that falls asleep during a haircut, too.
Yeah.
Autistic, ASMR.
I fall asleep during my proctology exam that I'm doing.
Yeah, right. That's the only time you feel alive.
Yeah.
You were fine last week. I know.
Well,
and I need to get right again.
Yeah. All right. So actually, 137, right? There's 137 islands in the Hawaiian island chain. That's interesting, right?
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, I didn't either. Actually, because in my brain, I just thought okay, well, there's Oahu, and the big ones that we all know, right? The Big Island. But are you?
I heard one lock.
You heard a snip.
Yeah.
All right, let's not do it anymore.
Yeah. Just they got one hole. Yuck.
Man, sniff it.
All right. So then we'll have to bag these up and send them off.
Go.
Okay.
So anyway,
I feel lighter. I can hear better on this side of my head.
I gotta tell you, actually, one of the worst times of my life was actually in Hawaii. It was on the Big Island.
Okay.
And it was in the military, and I had no idea that you could get windburn. Yeah. Did you know about this?
Yeah.
It was all the high points of my face, like my cheeks and my giant Cro-Magnon forehead, were all just obliterated by the wind. So anyway, man, this is super.
Is it picking it up?
It's getting the snips, yeah.
All right, cool.
Actually, what we're doing right now, for people that are not watching, Jake is actually getting a late stage circumcision.
It's actually it's a real big power move.
Yeah. Excuse me while I whip this out. So
I got a couple of I was going to say, do you want to talk about Comedy Cabin real quick before we get too far into this? We're sponsored, of course, by Comedy Cabin here in Janesville, one of our favorite places to go.
Yeah.
Go to cabinlaughs.com to get great tickets for shows. And also, I want to throw it out there. Everybody knows I'm a drawing nerd, but we've actually started a new drawing class.
No, it's nude drawing.
Nude, yeah.
Not new. It's a new one, guys.
Every first of the month, and if you want to be a part of it, it's $10 at the door. We pay a model to come in. It's like a 2 or 3 hour session. It's a lot of fun. Actually, your cousin's going to be our model.
I know.
The next
you
one.
guys are going to have to really work on your cross hatching of his butthole.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm picking him?
Yeah. No, he's got 2. He has 2 buttholes.
He does.
I mean, it looks like 2. Okay, because it looks like he had like they cut his tail off.
It's got like a faux butthole.
It's like an over under, like a shotgun. Like just double barrel. He'll show you too. I'm not kidding you. Actually, so Jake, what did you do during a couple 10 days ago?
Went down to the Eclipse.
You did go to the Eclipse. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, actually, our Eclipse experience. Went to the 2017 one. I loved it.
It's funny that you went to the Eclipse because she clips right now.
No, yeah.
There we go. We're having fun here, guys. It's a haircut joke.
I was gonna say, we took the family down we went to Oakland City, Indiana, and I remember the day before we went. Actually, it was supposed to be 80% cloudy, but we were still kind of still going. The weather turned out perfect for it, and we got to see another one. But I wanted to bring up an article that I saw that I'll have up from the YouTube viewers.
Dude, you have like a butt cut right now.
What is it?
You have like a butt cut.
That's fine.
Do you remember like the mid 90s?
Dude, I used to get my hair cut with a bowl all the time. My brother and I had to share the same bowl. You part it in the front, and then you look back at every part of that looks like the bottom of a penis. That's JTT
what
hair
you have right now.
You like it?
Yeah, hold on. Let me get a picture of this stupid shit. All right, keep going.
Well, so I want to say, on the YouTube, actually, I'll have to blur it out to show it.
Grab one
but in Mexico City, it was one of the first videos of the eclipse. On the day of the eclipse, let me find it here real quick. Sorry, here. Okay. Okay, so during the solar eclipse, coverage of the RCG media, a pair of testicles unexpectedly appeared on screen, obscuring the view of the eclipse.
Yeah, you blew up my... I was going to talk about that. That was like my favorite thing.
So the incident caused a visible shock among the news anchors, which quickly cut away from it. The internet found humor in the viral video.
Their mouths were agape.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because it was very much... It was like the sun, and then it was like... Brr, brr. It was very much the pair of testicles.
I'll tell you right now, I don't mean to be like hipster, hipster meme videos, but dude, I shared that fucking exact video in 2017 or whatever.
That one?
That exact one.
Did you know there was a rumor going around that was actually Tommy Lee's nutsack?
Oh, I mean,
it's since then been disproved. But
I had plenty of people say, "Was that yours?" I was like, "Come on, man, that was way too hairy." Dude, I was like, my balls look more like the moon, just smooth and crater
pocked and gross.
Fucking sea of tranquility.
Yeah.
Perfect orbit around my Uranus.
So yeah, I guess we also experienced totality, which is getting into the actual shadow. And I'll say this, I know I'm getting my head shaved right now. We're talking about ball testicles, but if you can in your life, get into the totality of an eclipse. One of the coolest experiences ever, and I've got to do it twice, and I've got good weather for both, so I feel very fortunate.
I'll tell you, a couple times I went out, it was kind of getting a little eerie.
Yeah.
And and I was looked out a couple times, but in Wisconsin it wasn't that great.
But it was actually 90% coverage too, and that's what I mean. To where it's even 99% coverage is nothing compared to when that shadow it actually feels like it hits you. The air cools down, so it starts dropping on top of you. Birds start making weird noises, bugs come out. And
I know that I saw an article. A couple of listeners actually sent in that I guess bees stopped flying.
Yeah. Chickens went.
Yeah.
My mom said she sent me a message the chickens just went back in the coop. So
they didn't give him a cluck.
Yeah, they were over it.
Cluck this, I'm out. Man, dude, please keep it like that. Just keep it such a stupid looking.
Listen, long as this stuff under the hatable, I'm good.
Wait, honestly, hold on. Wait, let him do one of these. Let him give a little. Oh yeah. Hey bro.
Yeah. Hey bro.
JTT.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's on tool time.
Yeah. I was listening
man.
to Mbop earlier.
Yeah.
So.
Do I look like your neighbor popping up over this boom over this mic?
You actually kind of do a little bit. I was gonna say I want to bring back something we haven't done in a while, but like I looked up a couple
Getting
of
a haircut?
a couple of horrible sex moves.
Hell yeah.
With the funny. So I thought we'd go
Yeah.
right into that. It's not multiple choice, so just give me your best guess at what you think a Kentucky gas station is.
Okay, I'm assuming is it something like with fried chicken, like Kentucky Fried Chicken?
No.
Oh. Man, I don't know then.
All right, let's start. So a Kentucky gas station apparently is you stick it in, doesn't matter where, and start pissing.
That's just how I have sex.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah. So I got 3 of these. Let's do one more quick one. We'll move on. So what do you think the Massachusetts liberal is?
Something to the left.
That would be good. No, it's just plain normal sex, but there's a Kennedy involved.
Oh man, I wish I would have thought more about that. We did more like clues.
I know. I was grabbing.
And anytime I see Massachusetts, I always think of massive two shits. I've got to tell you, I'm just gonna say, what do you think the scariest? Since you're talking about sex moves,
Okay.
what do you think the scariest STD you can think of? Like, give me an example. This is so distracting.
Gonorrhea.
Gonorrhea? Why?
Is that the one that burns every time you pee?
I mean,
I don't know.
think they all
in your
do, don't they?
experience, does it burn every time you pee?
No, I'm being serious. Like, is gonorrhea the worst one that you could think of?
No, there was one actually where I think it was like a herpes virus can actually core out part of your brain. There's been a couple of people that have lost their ability to form new memories because I think it was herpes simplex, where it took out their medulla oblongata, I believe it was.
Well, that's why crocodiles are so angry, right?
So yeah, I'd say of the 2 of those, that would suck.
Well,
It would suck if you remembered that's why it happened too. Like your last memory was of a.
well, I blame women for herpes, right?
Why?
They don't call it heepies. This guy. Anyway, what you're gonna sit back, cut his hair, and just smirk at me?
Do I look like John Hamm yet?
you look so handsome.
I look
right
like a
now.
mental patient.
Charlie's gonna get us water.
What's that?
Charlie's going to get us
Oh, okay.
Yeah, water
Right.
will help.
Right. So anyway, but other than that, can you list off any other negative side effects for STDs?
I mean,
Is that it? Okay.
obviously, there's
Okay,
genital
so
warts,
I-
there's all the other.
okay, so I'm gonna
hit
tell you this.
Google.
Yeah. So I know of an even scarier one than that.
Okay.
It's called Massospora cicadina, and this STD it actually only infects men, right?
Okay.
And it only infects males. It turns you gay, super horny, and then you
Oh.
die.
Yeah, that one's scary.
This isn't a bit. So it's a fungus
Yeah,
that
okay.
actually takes over your brain, causes the male's genitalia to fall off.
Just makes you go to Coachella.
All right. So this fungus, it takes over the brain. It causes the male's genitalia to fall off. Now this fungus,
What?
it only turns the fella into like a fun guy.
Ah.
Thank you. It also not only turns him into a fun guy, it also turns into a bottom to attract other males. Now, if
This
you're
is
wondering,
a real STD.
yeah, man. So if you're wondering how he's able to like trick other guys into banging him,
Okay.
and I thought you'd never ask, right? The fungus floods the body with adrenaline, and then that causes him to act like a female by clicking his wings. And so,
Wait.
so obviously we're talking about cicadas, guys.
Okay,
these are
all right.
these are cicada dudes, not human dudes. So,
This is the real Last of Us.
yeah, for real. No, that's exactly what I thought of. I was like, oh my god. So anyway, now how many of our male listeners started like immediately throwing away the mushrooms in their fridge? Like, honey,
taking them.
Get the fungus out of you. Ain't taking up the shiitake hole.
Sure.
So anyway, a professor of mycology and forest pathology said the cicada continues to participate in normal activities like it would if it was healthy. Like it tries to mate, it flies around, it walks on plants. Yet a third of its body has been replaced by the fungus, which is kind of really bizarre.
Yeah.
So I guess like a giant like spores come out of its back and everything like that too. So how crazy is that though? Like that's how the fungus spreads to other males. Is it's basically its dick falls off, and then it just starts taking it like a female, and then the males are like, that's how it gets this STD. Now,
what a lonely scientist to map this out.
Well, no, because obviously, what did we talk about a couple episodes back? What's happening soon with cicadas?
Oh, they get the mass. What is it? I forgot what it's called. It's a certain
whatever emergence from the soil.
Well, there's like 3 different kinds that are like trillions.
Yeah, it's like the trillions of cicadas coming out this year, in which the last time this many cicadas hatched, Thomas Jefferson was president.
That's right.
Okay, if that puts things into perspective, that was 200 years ago. Now, I know what you're thinking. Like, will this fungus turn all of God's most annoying beatboxers into a pride parade?
That is
right?
what I was thinking, actually. I was like, will God?
Yeah, and I'm sure all of your like inner Alex Jones is like, they're turning the friggin' frogs gay.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
But you can all relax, right? The scientists assume that out of the trillions emerging cicadas, only about 5% will turn them into cicadas.
Okay. You worked on this hard. I
Actually,
appreciate
that
this
was
effort.
That was definitely a joke that I came up with and
Sure.
did not steal from anyone, especially listener T when it was sent in. So, so that was me, cicadas. How's that haircut coming? Look, you're going like full. You got the wetting it down.
See, I think what's happening right now
thought
is
you
in
were
the
just
middle of a tattoo.
you
Sometimes
were just
nothing
gonna
is
shave
going
it.
right, and I think that's what's going on right
Yeah.
now. It's like, we need water.
Yeah.
Water on it.
Well, I mean, I actually
Don't let him near a mirror when we're done.
Tony sent one in.
I didn't let her know. I have a real weird head.
Yeah, Tony sent in speaking of tattoos going awry.
Sure.
Tony goes, "Hey, have you hit Jake with this particular fear yet?" And I go, "I think that we did, and I'm not certain."
Is it yeah,
Cryptophalophobia?
yeah. It's.
Do you remember what that is?
It's,
Anyone? You know what it is?
I think I remember. Is it the fear of someone hiding dicks?
It's
in
the
the tattoo.
It's the fear of your tattoo artist hiding a penis in your tattoo.
Yeah. You know, like I've heard rumors of, you hear people do that, and I just think like, I can't actually believe that's a real thing. Like, and that's just me like also not believing people do like abuse children. So maybe it does actually happen. But like,
I don't know. Have you met some kids?
That's fine. But I've met some tattoo clients, and I've put up with them smilingly, but I've never for a moment been like, they fucking hit a dick. It's like it's the weirdest form of visual.
You get what you are, buddy. All right, what do you got?
Actually, this was kind of a weird one. Did you hear about that? CERN apparently has found a ghost.
No, but didn't they turn the CERN on during the eclipse?
They did. Actually, they turned the CERN on to search for, I think it was
Can you
dark
tell
matter.
people listening for what a CERN is, real quick? What the CERN is?
So CERN is a large particle collider in Europe. Actually, the biggest one used to be in Fermilabs. Oh, we just lost the light here. That's okay. Tech support. Go hit that button.
I was going to say, like, quit talking about the CERN.
Man, I feel like a fucking kingpin right now. My haircut. Turn that back on.
This is such a power move right now, Jake.
All right, so CERN, I think it's a Large Hadron Collider, but it used to be Fermilabs in Chicago was the largest one, and that got shut down, and they were going to build the largest one in Texas. Funding fell through for it. Europe stepped up and built, I think it's a 16-mile loop
I was going to say, describe the size of it.
Yeah, so it's 16 miles underground. But basically,
and if you're curious, that's a 1 mile more than 15.
Wow.
I know, right?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So I think they were turning it on during the eclipse, basically to utilize the shadow of the moon, which is basically blocking stuff coming from the sun.
At night?
You can, but it's almost like it offers a unique scientific experience to have basically a hole in the middle of all the energy coming from the sun pass.
Oh, I see.
So you could search for like neutrinos, stuff like that in a certain way.
They had 4 minutes to do it?
Kind of.
Okay.
There's some weird stuff. Like they've looked through the center of the Earth and have detected neutrinos from the sun through the Earth.
Really?
Like which there was a picture. This picture of a sun. It looks like a blip. They're like big fucking deal. They're like, well, they were looking through the Earth when they took this photo. You're like, oh, okay, because like there's large neutron tanks buried underground in like Minnesota and Japan where it's just giant vats of water because they don't interact with anything. I think a neutrino is like so uninteractive with matter. They said something like a light year's worth of lead long. There's like still a 99% chance that a neutrino won't hit an atom as it passes through.
Really?
Yeah, but basically they were turning it on, and I think this was mean to crazy people that were already on edge about that earthquake in New York.
Oh yeah.
Because they thought there was going to be a large earthquake that like destroyed everything, and on top of that, CERN was like, "Hey, we're flipping the big switch on to." I got a crazy sister-in-law that worries about that kind of stuff, and she was like, "Then they're turning on the."
Well, I mean, with all due respect, but she was like, I heard it's gonna jump us into a new time warp or something like that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, like
Who cares? Here's the thing. What are you gonna do about it? Go get a job. I do gotta say, like, I haven't had a haircut in 4 years, and
you should be like a little kid, like crying and like kicking your feet.
no, it's actually the opposite. Like,
Or
do you
give him like a tablet to play with.
like, do you ever get like your ears cleaned out or unplugged, and you're just like, I can hear the ants crawling.
Dude,
that's how I feel right now. Like,
That's funny.
I'm like
Actually,
more aware of the room.
You're lucky because you're moving around so much. Like any barber I've ever been to is like just dribbling my head around like a basketball.
I'm normally a sit very still. I just bumped into the scissors. Like I'm
Cutting a 5-year-old's hair.
It's fine. I'm letting it's fine. No one's looking at me anymore anyways. It's fine. It's over. But I will say it's like it's refreshing.
Oh my God.
Because like I haven't had a haircut in 4 years, and I'm like, I feel like a caveman that came out of the woods. Like Brendan Fraser is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Encino Man.
Yeah. Wheeze the juice, buddy.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. I had a catfish here for you.
Oh, do you want to explain what a catfish is really quick?
Okay. So
You should have her do it. Explain what the catfish is.
What's a catfish? Go into the microphone. You can see.
Come on, you listen
talk
all
right
the
there.
time, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Catfish is when someone lies about who they're dating or who they are.
Yes. But
That's a catfish.
the TNEP version is where Jake is going to read off 3 news articles. One of them is real, 2 of them are fake. So we, as listeners, need to decide which one is the real one.
Tech support. I don't know what's going on with these lights.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 1, listeners, I am getting a haircut here. I'm multitasking. All right. So number 1, VR immersive friction suits now allow the touch of another human being to come across the internet. Number 2.
Wait, how's cum spelled?
OME. I thought that's it. Yeah. Number 2, controllers rumble packs are making a comeback with shocking results.
Okay.
Number 3, company designs a device lets you smell video games as you play them.
Ooh, man, I've been playing Doom Eternal lately.
Sulfuric. That would be bad.
I don't want to smell that.
Yeah, Resident Evil sales plummet.
Oh, man. Okay, so read them again, please.
All right. VR immersive friction suits now allow the touch of another human being to come across the internet. Number 2, controllers rumble packs are making a comeback with shocking results. Number 3, company designs a device that lets you smell video games as you play them.
We got a 1, a 1, a 2. What do you think there?
So you can see the answer.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm really teetering between 1 and 2.
Okay.
I mean, man, a VR suit would be expensive. I feel like I saw something like that, but then also I like the idea of a rumble pack just zapping your ass when you die. But then I also see like the impending lawsuits of like, now my fucking 4-year-old doesn't know math. All right. So,
or you can help it teach math.
There you go. Yeah.
Wrong.
9. The answer is 9. 3 times 3. Okay. So I'm going to go with number 1.
Okay. All right, so the answer is GameSense. AI-powered console paraphernalia introduces a novel concept to the world of gaming. Sense!
We all got it wrong.
However,
it's number 3?
Yeah, it may offer
that was
an
the dumbest
immersive
one.
experience. All I can think is like the 4D, and they do say that Sense is always tied.
I smell 4Ds while I'm playing. I'm fucking done.
What game is this? This is BBC. News. BBC News. Yeah.
Not BBC Nudes?
Yeah. And basically, the article went on to talk that, like, everybody's heard one of the strongest senses tied to experience is memory, or scent is memory.
Okay.
And so they were trying to utilize that because if you think about it, if it's just a small combination, like the nose is an easy thing to trick if you can develop something to simulate sense. It's much easier than like developing a whole haptic feedback suit. Or I think what you were thinking of is like I saw an article that was like, hey, you can buy like a Nordic track to run on, or you can buy this AI treadmill that you can run in 3D. And it's the same price, too. And I pitched to Lindsay. I'm like, let's make this happen. So, yeah, the scent was...
That's really interesting and weird.
You know what's weird is like this one was like so kind of strange that I was like confident that no one was gonna.
Yeah, I was like, actually, that's really stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
so
bad writing, buddy. All right,
Sorry.
But there we go. Now you're talking to me recently about Ozempic.
yeah.
Let's hear about it.
Okay, so Ozempic is, if you've heard of Ozempic, it's a drug that basically, I believe it just like lowers your body mass on.
So was
as
it
a
for
whole.
like insulin or something, or was it for pancreas shit? And then they were like, oh, it also makes you thinner.
So what it came down to was basically the problem with it is they say with Ozempic you lose like muscle mass too. That was kind of the contention with it. It's like, yeah, you lose fat, but also muscle mass, which can be harder to gain back.
Yeah, if you want to get swole.
One of the weird side effects is a lot of people were getting surprise pregnancies on it because what was happening was their body mass.
Sounds like they're gaining body mass.
Right? Yeah.
Turns you into an actual bodybuilder.
Was it the whole one step forward? Oh, bodybuilder? That's nice. I like that.
Thank you.
But and basically the theory of why this was happening was basically they were, you're on it and you bring your body mass index down to where hormones might start interacting differently, and the absorption rate of like contraceptives devices.
Anti what?
What do you call it? Anti-pregnancy. What's the word I'm thinking of?
I don't know, but you were.
Yeah, contraceptives. Basically, it's being absorbed more quickly than would have otherwise happened. So, it's the whole thing. What is it? You don't take birth control on an antibiotic?
I was going to say
it sounded like that thing.
That's what I was going to get at.
Yeah.
So it sounded like, and so now celebrities are getting KU'd or something, because I feel like they were getting all knocked up, or all the celebrities on Ozempic now, right? Isn't that like Ozempic face?
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Where it's like it like sucks your cheeks in and everything else too.
Yeah, because I think
very like angular.
Well, I think it was like a chemical. It was basically a chemical that would basically tell your body to get rid of like excess maestro. For listeners, any time I'm saying that, we have a faulty light system here, a real Phantom of the Opera. I like to think it's something to do with my hair, some kind of electrical interference. Native Americans used to believe the longer your hair, the more in tune with tracking you were. I like to think it has something to do with that.
Yeah, sure. Now, because you mentioned the Ozempic to me earlier, I also came across something that about celebrities that are, because they're always looking for that new thing to make them look younger.
Sure.
Right?
Am I done?
I think so.
You're all done? Look at this guy. Look at this handsome guy.
Yeah. Can I have a hug?
Put it back. Oh, yeah. She's like, oh, cool. Thanks. Charlie, I need an adult.
I'll take your cape off.
No, I like it.
Wear the cape the rest of the time.
All right, let's do it.
He looks like a gunslinger.
It's a weird sensation. I do literally feel like lighter.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you ever take like a bike helmet off after like riding, you're like, that thing sucks. That's how this feels right now. So
you do look actually. I hate to give you a compliment because I'm just a bad friend, but you do look a lot better.
You should put my hair in your head because you are gay. Did a cicada crawl up your ass? Why are you gay?
Do you hear the buzzing? So anyway,
Marissa, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And honestly, like, not to be weird, but like, I think it's cool I get to donate this, and it's with my body, I help someone.
Yeah, I'm sure some guys like I really want dandruff. I want the real effect of dandruff.
You're like, oh, awesome. Now I can go to my AA meetings.
Oh man,
this feels like road trip. Like, did you kill a cheetah? Looks like you cut off the tail of a horse.
So all right, let's horse around this way. So celebrities, I don't need any naysayers. Whatever, fuck you. Anyway, so now celebrities are always. Is that your celebratory beer?
Yeah, it is.
That's my short hair beer, boys. I've been saving this since COVID too.
Yeah.
All right, so celebrities are always searching for that new thing to make them look younger. There's a new craze born in South Korea called, man, I'm going to botch this, but it's PLENHYAGE. Plenhage? Right? Plenhage? So anyway, this involves tiny injections in the face.
I think I might have seen this.
Now, Jennifer Aniston, amongst other celebrities, have taken these injections in the face. Now, the injections are with salmon sperm. Now, I'm just going to read you the quote.
Thank you.
All right, so usually the sperm DNA comes from salmon, trout, or chum salmon. Chum salmon is just the grossest way to, like... Yeah, like seriously. So the fish itself can already help. The fish itself can already help with skin issues like inflammation because of the omega-3. But the salmon sperm can also help with wound healing and promote skin elasticity and reduce inflammation. And I was sitting there thinking, like, how are they harvesting it? Like, do they like ethically? Do they get consent? Or like they just squeezing them out of their cloaca?
Yeah,
I'm being serious. Like I really don't like. How do you?
It's a surgical salmon.
No, do you remember that? What's that school bus?
Magic
school bus where they go and did they get blasted?
That was a video.
Didn't they get a load blasted on by a salmon? Right?
They did. Yeah, salmon came all over them.
Make you put that over for the YouTube viewers.
Miss Frizzle got a review.
She got a Miss Jizzle. All right, so
her face looked great after it, though.
And I was sitting there thinking, like, man, like. Who else likes salmon? It's like bears. You know, like
I like
like,
salmon.
Well, no, I'm saying
I had salmon this
like,
week.
Yeah, aren't you already like I mean, you couple like the salmon sperm with menstruation, you're just like doubling down on attracting bears towards you.
That's true.
Yeah. But no, I thought that was just an interesting way to, I guess, try to look younger. I don't know. Maybe we can. You shoot a load of salmon cum on Jake's face later. I mean, he's already got.
I mean, did you say it was from Korea as well?
Yeah, South Korea. I mean, it was like started in South Korea. So
sure, I'm not gonna go conspiracy here, but I kind
let's
of
hear
want.
it.
Well, no, it's in Korea. Isn't like. Who's the girl from Speed? Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Wasn't supposedly they were using the stem cells from the
baby dicks
from the foreskins
do you
cut off
that?
of Korean.
They're using foreskin the stem cells taken from baby foreskin circumcisions and smearing it on their face.
Yeah, I guess this is the step
like-
up from that.
I feel like I saw wasn't it like a Steve Harvey? Was it Steve Harvey where they're like, oh, and then here and he put it out. They put out his hand. He's like, and where's this come from? And then they said it, and then he did the mouth that gave up.
He did the Steve Harvey face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that's on television.
So I gotta say a couple fun facts here I came across. But you know the Eurasian brown bear. Since we're talking about them, right.
No, what's it?
Okay, so the name, the scientific name of the Eurasian brown bear is Ursus arctos, which translates literally as bear, bear, bear.
Listen, when they were naming shit, they were done that day.
They were just like,
Yeah.
and like and
Snowflake flurry.
Well, no, think of like because Arctic means bear, right? And,
does it? Okay.
Yeah, and Antarctic means no bear. So it's like think of like.
That's a better system than words that I don't know.
Well, no, it's like now it just was coincidental that Antarctica did not have bears.
Yeah,
you know, but I think that's pretty
honestly
funny that
it
the
matters.
Arctic bears.
It matters when you're packing.
Yeah,
where are we going? No bear. All right, we don't need extra weight.
So,
did you bring the bear gun? No, I thought we were going to the.
I thought we were going to Antarctica. Yeah.
No, you fool.
No, you need penguin guns.
OJ died.
Yeah. One less murderer in the world.
Juice has expired.
Alleged.
Right?
Yeah, sorry, Tony. Alleged murderer. One less alleged murderer. As he
Sweet.
turned his fucking wife's head into a fucking Pez dispenser.
Yeah. Is there like? Can I actually? This is a quick question. Is there anyone else in the world besides like world leaders that we just know they murdered someone?
Yeah, I mean, I love like how Norm Macdonald never let him live it down.
Yeah,
you know, Norm Macdonald, like any
10
chance he
minutes or
got,
so.
any chance he got, he shoehorned in like that he's a murderer. But I will say, like, I did see that I guess his OJ's estate is being divvied up to the victims' families.
Right.
Which,
well,
it's kind of like that's very telling.
That's probably a legal thing. Do you know that he wrote a book?
Yeah, If I Did It, and then they put the sticker. Did you see that?
Well, yeah, because it was like the rights to it. They owned something about that, and they basically, I think they minimized if.
No. What they did is they put like the sticker, like the whatever the sales sticker over if.
Yeah.
So it just says I did it.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, I did like how that guy, like, I guess he doubled down. I remember he said he was scared to go to LA because he didn't want to accidentally run into the killer.
Yeah.
It's just like
a mirror.
I was gonna say just attack the mirror like a bird.
Yeah, but it did say he died. So he was 76. He died of prostate cancer.
That was painful.
I saw that his Bronco. Did you see how much it went for? It was like $1.5 million.
Really? He still had it?
No, not him, but like it was recently resold or something like that for 1.5 million.
Huh.
You know, I look at it like, yeah, the worst thing that came out of him was the Kardashians.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say like you could trace that shit back to like to the fucking Kardashian. I mean to the Kardashians, which are I think just monumental piles of shit. You know, as far as just being famous.
Don't speak bad of them.
Yeah. I mean, just like what I don't know. I just don't think that they're doing much for. I think the craziest part about them is that we've never had any work done on our faces, and you could look just like us if you buy our products. You know, like that's. I hate that shit.
Well,
you're fucking with little girls' minds.
That's the problem, and they're just reading a script. And I saw recently it was who's the main Kim or whatever. She was basically like giving a motivational speech about how you just have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and you know if you want to succeed in business, it's like
you were nobody until you got fucked on film. You know what I mean? And it's like what? Like I don't know. It's like she was like I don't know. Like
well, I think like
was it RJ or something like that?
Like their family is like their family success is a reflection of our society, which is it's a bummer. But do you remember that Firefest?
We're making stupid people famous.
Well, do you remember Firefest?
Yeah.
And this is what's
Fire
interesting.
Island?
Fire Island.
Yeah.
Right. So I remember they paid her, I think it was $750,000 for one tweet. And I remember thinking that was stupid. That one tweet was the equivalent of like $30 million of advertising that place would have had to do.
Well, I guarantee you if they were to run for office, they would win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guarantee you. Just because we're so fucking stupid nowadays.
Well, Bodie McBoatface. Like, what was the whole thing? The internet got to name the boat in London, and we go for the funny. That's what it is right now. So, I don't know.
Anyway.
So, goodbye, OJ. I hope you find the killer in hell.
Exactly. In the mirror. So, you had some stuff on robots?
Did I? No, I didn't have it written. I just saw the Boston Dynamic release that picture of the robot, the video of the robot standing up. It was like, this is what it was. It was a robot. It was flat on the floor. It looked defeated. And then it just got up like a Cirque du Soleil gymnast and turned around, and I just was like, see your death.
But does it have a face?
No, it had like a hollow kind of tube where it was that was its face.
So I prefer that over, because, like I think it's like a mecha or whatever that they're making.
Sure.
Have you seen that? It's like gray faced, but it's very humanoid, and it has expressions and like awkward looks and like angry looks.
I'd rather just have the screen with the emoji. Like,
yeah,
that'd be better. Like, I forgot who said it, but it was a good point. But basically, it's like it was some movie where the robot was like, "I look human to make you comfortable."
Yeah,
and that's what it is. It's like the people are building it because they want acceptance, but it's like I'd rather take a cartoony little R2D2 rolling around, instead of like something that's trying to look like a person. That freaks me out.
Well, that's exactly. And do you know what that's called? That's called Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if have you guys heard of Uncanny Valley?
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Okay, so
it's a big video game.
So for people that don't know what the Uncanny Valley is, a psychological phenomenon seen with us humans in response to artificial things like robots or like even in video games or whatnot, right? But as AI robots become more and more human-like, there's a point where slight imperfections or deviations from human norms create these feelings of like uneasiness or like revulsions, in us. We're like, ugh, and it's just like the robotic movements or just like the like an awkward twist of the face to where it's like that's not real. But go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I know with the Uncanny Valley, what they discovered is we're very uncomfortable when something's actually trying to mimic us. It's very off-putting, but we're very comfortable with cartoonish representations, Pixar, stuff like that. We actually enjoy it. I actually think that's where a lot of like cosplay and stuff like that comes from.
If it's too realistic, but not 100%, it's like icky to us.
Yeah, like if we see I think what it comes down to, if we see something and we cannot pinpoint what is wrong with it, that's actually the uncomfortable part. It's like
that's the
I couldn't tell you exactly what's wrong with it. I just understand that it's not human. It's almost like an instinctual level of that's not moving in the correct way. It's not
exactly. Well, and because so much of our language is body language and facial expressions and whatnot. You could say. I mean, that's why like you could say one thing to somebody and you're like, you don't fucking mean that.
I actually remember hearing a weird stat that I think it was like English language has something around like 200,000 words or something like that, but the body language
rhyme with orange.
Right, but body language potentially has like 800,000 words, and that's just like small inflections, eye movements, stuff like that. Really? And that's actually, I remember that because during COVID with the masks, when my daughter was like in kindergarten is when COVID kicked off and I started growing my hair. I was concerned.
Callback.
I was concerned with the mask because the majority of facial expressions are really being learned at that age.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember one day. Sorry, the light kicked off again. I remember one day my daughter came home and said, like, these kids were making bad faces at them. And I put a mask on and we did the whole, like, what face am I making? Just to make her guess because she was wrong most of the time. Because there's a default when you're socially.
So she's imagining.
Yeah, you're assuming.
She's projecting her own thoughts onto the person. You know, like, I'm feeling down about myself or I think I just did something stupid. And then they're looking at me. They can tell.
Exactly.
You know? It's like when you're stoned in public.
Yes.
You're like,
they know.
They all know.
Fuck, they know. They know I shit my pants.
They know I shit his pants. Yeah. All right. So anyway, so it's so with the Uncanny Valley, it's why making realistic robots can be pretty tricky, and if they're close to like looking human, right? Yeah. They can actually push people away instead of making them feel more connected.
Right.
So that's why like what you were saying as well. It's just like make it silly.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like I do, you know, I don't need you to like wink at me or something like that.
Sure.
You know, with like or furrow your brow.
This is kind of the premise for the show Westworld. And like I'll say I recommend Westworld the first season. Love Westworld.
Yeah.
I was joking earlier, but like the second season, I swear the first season was like, you love being confused. I'm like, I liked it a little bit. They're like, well, wait till you see the second season, and then halfway through, I'm like, all right, I'm fucking confused. So like first season great. Yeah. But Westworld really rides the Uncanny Valley premise.
Speaking of like shows, but
Fallout's great.
Fallout's pretty cool. I'm only 3 episodes in, so
I'm 3 episodes in too.
Oh, really?
Well, so
the fourth one they all die.
This is what happened is I wanted to like watch it. I wanted to like dive into it, and then Lindsay was like, "Yeah, Fallout looks good." I'm like, "Fuck." Now it's a relationship thing.
Oh, no, you can't. You can't
just,
like watch it.
Yeah, I can't just like consume it. So now I have to like dodge the internet. Anything that looks like it's about to be about Fallout, I fly past it on social media because everybody's cool for about 2 weeks, and then all the memes come out and ruin it. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. When you're like, because you have to wait for the schedules to line up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, honey, did you watch it?"
I love half a show a night. How about you? I love taking 6 days to watch Inception. Really digest the points. That was surprising.
What's that? I mean, you remember that like cartoon meme of the guy going?
Yeah. Well, and that's what happens to where you're just like, oh my gosh. She's like, have you seen this before? Like, no, I didn't know Walter White was going to do that. Fuck. I couldn't wait, baby. That's a modern cheat.
Oh, man.
You finished?
A while ago.
Yeah. Dude, I finished so fast.
I've been just thrusting away it.
I can go again. I'll enjoy it just as much.
I promise. I like that you like it.
Good PBR.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
I'm like spider sense right now. Like I had a fuzzball in my head an hour ago.
Very fully aware.
Yeah.
What else you got, buddy?
Well, I was gonna say, did I ever tell you when I hugged? You ever hug a nurse? This is a personal story.
Okay.
So like,
is he handsome?
The only time I can attribute to what I feel right now is I had my ear blocked. I didn't even know I had it blocked. I just remember like I was getting in fights driving because Lindsay would say something. I couldn't hear her. It was on my right side. I just thought I was ignoring her. I eventually went in because she's like, you might have hearing damage. And they did that water pressure thing in my ear. And it was a big black nurse, too. And nothing to do with the story. That's what she was.
Why'd you mention it?
Because I'm setting the scene. It's the easiest, most descriptive terms. She was large and she was black. She was super nice and I loved her. But when she washed out my ear and she made me laugh, she goes, I never seen one that big. I'm like, that made me feel awesome. But like a big plug came out and it was wild because it was like this where like, I felt like I could hear ants crawling. And I had never been to the doctor. They made me feel better immediately. It was always, here's a script, here's something, go do something, feel better. She did something, I felt better immediately. And I jumped up and I hugged her. She hugged back.
Really?
Yeah, like I felt it. I'm like, all right, just made her day
takes
too.
a clicker out, third one today.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's how I feel now. That's why I'm like excited a little bit.
Is that where you hugged her?
You changed my life. I did.
Yeah. But have you seen anything bigger?
Here's the thing. The lady that cut my hair was small white. I mean, that was not offensive.
There we go. Yeah.
So,
all right. You want to end on a catfish?
Actually, I want to say I got a little bit of Middle East news that I forgot to talk about. Sure. Have you seen what's going on in Dubai right now?
Yes.
Yeah, they're just getting...
Is that
I got that
structure?
too. Nope, that's not it.
Okay.
The
The 105 mile down
well,
to
so there basically it was
15 feet.
unprecedented torrential storms have hit Dubai,
Okay.
causing widespread flooding and chaos.
So the palm tree's gone.
Right, yeah.
Right. That like.
Oh yeah, I forgot they built all that.
Yeah.
All right, so sorry, light. I don't know what is going on. It's ghost.
I think it's overheating.
Yeah. So basically, it has over 25 centimeters of rain falling in a single day, which is that a lot?
That's a lot, right, ladies? 25 centimeters is big, right?
Like, is that a lot?
Come on.
It's but the yearly average is 3 inches, which is like 1/3.
That's a lot,
of that
right,
in a
ladies?
day. Yeah. Dubai sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay, infrastructure damage led to disruptions, including stranded travelers at. I'm sorry, PBR is attacking.
This is great radio.
You know what? You hung it in past the haircut. You're this deep. So included stranded travelers at the Dubai International Airport, underscoring the city's vulnerability to extreme weather events. Despite swift actions taken by authorities, the storm revealed the city's susceptibility to the impacts of climate change. And I will say, it looks like nothing there is built for water at all.
Just water, yeah.
And this is one of those, like, climatologists say basically over the next coming years, they should expect an average of 15 to 30% more rain there just from, like, climate change. And I just
How dare you?
Well, I just watched something about the Burj Khalifa, the tower. It's like, here's the thing. There's no bedrock under any of those buildings.
Ooh.
It's all sand. They had to build like interesting infrastructure to like create friction on the sand. But it's like, it's something that it's going to be a problem for them going forward. And it's just kind of like this. This is the thing. Like, they built that city so fast. It's almost like, the city that's built slow, it incurs natural disasters. It kind of adapts to the environment that it lives in. Literally, that thing in 10 years has. We'll see. I'm waiting to see that Burj on its side someday. Like, we've all built sandcastles by the beach. And that one fucking wave comes by and ruins your whole day as a child. Like,
speaking of things developing, in their environment, I started a book called Guns, Germs, and Steel.
You were telling me about this.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting. I hadn't heard of it before, but I've mentioned it to a few people, and I guess it's kind of popular. But
Sure.
But it's I'm like just a few chapters in, but it's pretty interesting. I guess I'd rather listen to
Send it to me. I'll share it.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there you go. I'm really enjoying it right now. The basic concept of it is is essentially if life is agreed to started in Africa, right?
Sure.
As far as like humankind, and then
Cradle of civilization.
Yeah, and then we've migrated farther away, right? That would think that Africa had the longest jump start. So then why did other areas of the world start creating things like guns, germs, and steel?
Sure.
Right. And obviously we inadvertently created germs, but like,
Sure.
But as far as like, why weren't things getting more and more advanced, considering the massive head start that they had since everything originated there. And the fast way to say it is because of climates and stuff.
Sure.
So obviously you start going a little bit more north where you're like, oh my God, I need a little bit of ingenuity to figure out like how to stay alive during the winter.
Right.
Right. Or how to do food stores and stuff like that. So
Right,
I don't know. I'm enjoying it. Some of it's going a little bit over my head because I'm stupid, but like
I love stuff like that.
I
where
like it. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'll share it. I'll share it to our listeners. And you had mentioned the line earlier.
Yeah.
So if you remember, the line was a giant. Was it Saudi Arabia? I believe It was a
Saudi
project.
Arabia. It's 105 or 115.
106. They were going to try
106 miles.
They were trying to build a mega project, a
Is it weird that-
multi-trillion-dollar project.
Is it weird that as soon as I saw that, I'm like, they're not gonna fucking do that.
Nope.
Like, come on.
So
And on top of that, like the way it was built, it was just like, it was like a wind sail. It's like, dude, I mean, you can't like build a fence like that without it blowing over the wind.
So I will say, like, I love architecture. I love like interesting ideas, and what they were trying to do is very advanced, very interesting. Good job. You're going to create all new forms of poverty, like all new, incredibly
It's like
poor.
Judge Dredd's tower.
That's what I thought of, the movie Dredd. So basically, sorry, the light one more time.
You don't have to narrate it every time. You
Well,
just
there's like a pause. So we have technical difficulties.
aren't you editing? Can't you just edit out the pause?
This doesn't even do that. All right. So basically, this project was to be a 106-mile long mega city. I forgot how tall it was supposed to be the entire time. I want, like, rough guess, it was over like 50 stories tall, 106 miles long.
Sure.
That's like 50 stories tall from here to what's 106 miles away? Chicago? Yeah. You know, like
that's a lot.
That's a whale in one bite. You guys are not going to do that.
That's 1 mile over 105.
Yeah. It's like, to me,
just to give you perspective.
Yeah. How about you not have a war over there for 10 years? Like, I'd be impressed.
How about 8 minutes?
Yeah. So the megacity, the desert was going to be called the Line. The original estimated cost for the project was up to $1.5 trillion. And what's the construction math? Is it how many times should you multiply your initial cost? Is it like
by 3 probably?
Exactly.
I think, right? Is it by 3?
Yeah. So that would be over $7 trillion. Issues with the contractors have led to scaling back the project with only 3 short segments totaling 1.5 miles planned for construction by 2030. Now, that's still pretty impressive. But the problem is it's like, what is that, 1% of your initial plan? So because of this, the original target completion date for the entire metropolis was 2045, but now only short-term goals are going to be pursued. The project faced setbacks due to changing visions from Prince Mohammed bin Salman. This is also the guy that apparently built an entire palace with 1,000 rooms to just fuck chicks.
Yeah.
Like just Instagram. Like, honestly, you can make some good money if you can hide and seek in one of the rooms. Yeah. It's hide and chic, I'd call it.
Damn it. All right. I said that joke.
Yeah, the expected population of the Line has been reduced from 1.5 million people to an estimated 300,000 by 2030. And I cannot imagine a worse hellscape than 300,000 people living in a 110-degree environment in a 1.5 mile long fucking concrete building. Pass. I'll hang out in wet Dubai.
Yeah. I mean, that was my other thing too. Is like, who are they convincing to move there? You know.
This would be this would be the best prison. That's all this is. But it was interesting. What they want to do was completely self-contained. They want to produce food there. They want to grow. They want to recycle.
Where are they going to get water?
It would be desalinator machines. It would be on the coast.
Yeah,
the thing is, it's like the spirit of this is great, but I hate that you can just walk out and be like, we're going to build a 106-mile long city with 1.5 million people. Like, you're not even allowed to be listened to at this point. This is as stupid as me saying I'm going to build a 1.5 mile long city. It's so far from possible that this is why things aren't taken seriously over there.
I mean, like I honestly, like I said, like my first thought when I saw this, like however many years ago, or whatever, when they were talking about it, I was like, get the fuck out of here. They're not doing that.
And that is the right reaction to it.
That's not happening. So,
but I do like the spirit of it, and if you want to see some good artwork, if you go on Instagram, look at artist concept mock-ups of this. It's very sci-fi, it's very advanced. I love the spirit of it, but it's like small chunks, guys. Like, come on.
I like any artist mock-up of anything, because it's always more grandiose than what it'll be. But like, I feel like, can't they just link this together? If they okay, we're going to try out 1.5 miles, and then, like,
I think it'd be real important to make it so you could unlink it if you needed to. 1.5 mile segment sounds great.
Yeah.
Close the door.
Yeah. This is like a Jawa, like that big Jawa tank. It's like moving away.
You're like, I don't know what happened there. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to make a new line. Or fall out of line.
Yeah. All right.
That's all I had.
Okay. You want to end on a catfish?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
well, actually, before the catfish, one more sex move.
That's two. Okay.
One more sex. All right.
It's the catfish.
This one is the Utah polygamist.
It's when.
I'll do this again. I'll have choices, but
okay. So hold on. The Utah polygamist. Obviously, it's when there's not enough males, so you're begging for more men.
It's actually ain't that far.
Come on.
Yeah, Mormon. Yeah. The Utah polygamist.
God damn it!
It just says not as exciting as it sounds.
Yeah, but they start to sync up, right?
Yeah.
Their cycles. You're just like, well, see you in a few days.
Yeah.
Ladies.
I'm out.
So enjoy the bears. All right. So, all right. You ready for the catfish?
Yeah.
All right. Same rules apply again, listeners. All right. Number 1. Woman leaves museum early as date constantly mimics Borat while engaging with art.
Very nice.
Number 2, woman invited 23 family members on a blind date and got stuck with a $3,100 bill. Number 3, man drops off date at ER entrance after axe throwing mishap during first date.
I mean, the most believable one is the axe throwing thing. I've been waiting for these headlines.
Yeah.
So where you're like, oh, bar and axe throwing. This is.
You want me to read them again?
You might as well have a lawn dart business. Like, I remember we used to throw that shit in the air and be like, if you look, you're a pussy. Just stand there and just.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, read it again, please.
I'll read it again. Yeah. Right. Number 1, woman leaves museum early as date constantly mimics Borat while engaging with art. Number 2, woman invited 23 family members on a blind date and got stuck with a $3,100 bill. Number 3, man drops off date at ER entrance after axe throwing mishap during first date.
Well, to me, the only ones that would make the news would be 2 and 3. Because, like, I would do the first one. You know, that wouldn't be a headline.
I think I've done the first one.
I'm like, that wouldn't be a headline. That would be a pretty good date.
I think I've done the first one while looking at boobs.
How much?
Very nice.
Yeah. How much, gypsy? You know, just crack that egg. But I guess number 2 would be my guess. Just because, like, I've seen funny headlines of, like, so what she did was she invited her friends to try to, like, pile on this dude for the bill.
One woman invited 23 family members on a blind date and got stuck with a $3,100 bill.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll do number 2.
3,
2, 1.
All right, we're all over the board.
Yeah.
All right. While at a museum, I'm just kidding. No, this is
very nice.
Very nice. So this is actually from October 25th, 2021. A man was left with an enormous bill when his blind date brought 23 family members to test his generosity. However, her rather bizarre tactic backfired when her date, known as Mr. Lou,
I guess she found out, though.
29, left. Now, the rather ambitious singleton was then left to foot the bill herself and left at a cool $3,100. We're sure she was less than pleased. The couple's date took place at a restaurant in eastern China, and let me just get past this words I can't pronounce. According to the publication, it had been Mr. Lou's mom who had set them up with the meeting because it was a blind date.
Okay.
Right? But had set them up with the meeting after becoming concerned about his lack of dating life. Like, how bad is that your mom sets you up with a lady and then she brings her entire family? Right. So in a hope to impress his date, Mr. Liu had agreed to pay for the meal, not realizing that her entire extended family would be joining them. Now, the woman then explained to local media that she had wanted to test her date's generosity after committing to a relationship.
That's her Bronx Tale?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to explain that for listeners?
So, a Bronx Tale. My dad always told me about this, and it was from the movie where basically when you go on a date and you go and you unlock the door for your date, open it, let her in, your door is locked, and by the time you walk around to your door, if she reaches over and pops the lock for you, she's considerate. Yes. But if she doesn't, then she's self-involved, and you shouldn't. So I always had a joke about this, that like I did that with Lindsay, but like automatic locks. So my version of that was we went and saw Spider-Man, and right when Uncle Ben died, I farted real loud because I was like, the die is cast. Let's see if she can hang. And it was one of those like, let's find out if you like me or not in six dates now. Now. So
let's find out if you can handle my south mouth burping.
But I believe in that. I think it's a good way of not wasting your time to be like, be honest up front. And if you got 31 family members, let them know.
I mean, let's just say I think that Tony and I are meant to be, because I cracked ass a few times in front of him earlier tonight, and he didn't even blink. He just kept eating his KFC.
Dude, it would be funny if this is like a 31 girl strong group that always does this. And this is like no one's ever bought dinner for themselves.
Well, no. Okay, so I did some math here, right? Because I was kind of curious on the success rate of this tactic, like if this wasn't her first time. Now the math. There's 23 family members plus the 2 dates.
Sure.
Or 2 people on the date. So that's 25 people. Now 25 people divided by $3,100, that's $124 per person.
Fancy place.
I know. I mean, I don't know if you really thought about
Pinkies
that.
up.
Yeah. It's like, dude, fuck you.
No.
Right? Like, like this isn't like if it was like a $25 like meal, because I feel like that's generally like if you go anywhere, if you have like a meal for, I don't know, $15-$20 or something, and then a drink, or you know what I mean.
So you'd be okay with this if it was a cheaper place?
No, I wouldn't be okay with it, but it's just like I think it's the audacity that you just like you compound that when it's literally like 5 times as much per person as like a normal date.
Sure.
Yeah,
I would have loved to have been there for that moment when they're like, hand Bill the bill, you know, and it like, let's see what he does, you know.
And he's like this. Here's my $124.
You know what's funny is honestly her parents should have been like, he's a strong man.
For real.
Be with him. Like, you know what I mean? You didn't buckle to what? Social pressure? Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, so I mean, because remember that we talked about it a few months ago, I think, where that girl, she kept ordering like round after round of oysters. Yeah. And then the dude is like,
she's charged.
I think he like paid for his own. He like left his own meal money down and like gave her a couple of drink, like whatever. But he just dipped. Yeah, you know. But I don't know. I like you take advantage of the system. It's bullshit.
No.
So, but speaking of taking advantage of the system, I can't wait for you all to listen to episode 137A with Belle Boyd, where she takes advantage of her ample systems on her chest.
Yeah, she's quite capable.
She's a heavily bosomed woman, and
standards were low back then.
She can smell you coming. So, if you know what I mean, and that's a big nose joke. So, all right, but this has been episode 137, and my name is Adam Cryptophalophobia. Riley?
I'm Jake Lighter.
Yeah.
I feel lighter.
You really do feel lighter.
It's bizarre.
Well, what's funny...
Marissa, thank you so much for coming on and cutting our hair, and we'll send off these merkins and
hashtag merkins for men.
Yeah. Make some little people's dreams come true. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Later, boners.
Bye.
Speaking of which...